absolutely cannot let these figs go to waste. So I am dehydrating some. I'm going to turn this off so we don't get the hum just for a few minutes. I've eaten a ton of them fresh. And I'm going to freeze some since I really don't have time at this point to make preserves. So I picked a whole bunch, I've washed them, and right now I tested this dehydrator tray and it will just fit on my freezer shelf. So I'm going to prepare figs to freeze, yay, and then come back in the fall and I will make jam out of these. I understand the texture changes after you freeze them, but we should be able to make jam. Okay, so all I'm going to do, I did check online to see how you handle figs, and these ones are small, so I'm not even going to bother trying to cut them in half. I'm just going to leave them whole. If they were very large, I would probably cut them in half, but considering the size of them, I was actually quite surprised that they were this small, but perhaps it's just what they are. There are some that are larger, but hopefully I can. So what I'm going to do is just cut these up, put them on this tray, put them on a freezer shelf, and once they're frozen, then we take them out and put them in a sealed bag so that they stay fresh for the duration. When I come back in the fall, I should be able to do something with these. So I have washed them. And there's definitely some that are more ripe than others, but once again, doing what I can with what I've got and not letting these go to waste. Like that one's actually opened at the end. And I think I suspect if you're going to make a jam, a little bit less mature means that there's more pectin in the fig. But I've got to check that to see if pectin is required. I don't think it will be though. And probably just a small amount of sugar because these get sweeter as they dry, so I'm assuming that they'll also get sweeter making jam, but I'll have to research that as well. So I do have enough here to make probably at least a pint. And yeah, they might all be gone by the time I get back in the fall, so don't want them to go to waste. Whoops, lost that one. And now I don't see it. I wanted to pick it up before I stepped on it, but let's just continue along. Looks like I may need a second tray. That one may be overly ripe. The ants seem to like them. You know, there was not a lot of ants, but I have seen one or two ants crawling on them. So I have seen a few bitten. Okay, I think that's all we're going to fit on this tray. And it's going into the freezer right now. Okay, we'll find a second tray. Ah, okay, found him. Didn't want to step on him. Okay. And the only reason I'm putting the saran wrap down is to ensure that I can pull these off of this without too much effort. Okay, we are ready. Get the balance of them in. And we will have fig jam. And I suspect that Mark will try jam. He's always been willing to try jam. He just doesn't like fresh fruit for some reason. Now I have run out of freezer bags. I may have to run to the dollar store and pick some up before we leave so that these can be packaged properly in the freezer. I could probably pick figs every day here for a few days. And of course, the lovely big ones are at the top. Okay, that's it for now. Come back in the fall and we'll make fig preserves or fig jam. Yay! Okay, well, I have dehydrated a whole bunch of figs. I've got almost a full half-gallon jar. It's about 3/4 full, so taking advantage of these figs while I have them, and I can't be here the whole time to eat them. So one method of preserving. Now the other thing I did was freeze some. They should be frozen by now. So let's pull these out. And I froze them whole because they are fairly small. Oh yes. They're frozen little bullets. Pull out the other one. Now I loaded this one more because it was higher up in the freezer so that it would chill quicker. So at this point, all I'm going to do is put them in a freezer bag. And when we get back in the fall, we'll make jam or fig preserves. And they will not have gone to waste. Now, let's see if I can go pick a few more while we're at it, but at least I have some. So, it's one tray full. Wonderful. So, that is my fig stash, other than what I was able to take fresh from the tree, which is always the best way to eat them, obviously. And I'll continue to try and pull a few fresh ones while I can, and grab some more to freeze as well. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had some, so I do. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from our Alabama homestead. Well, they say that all good things come to an end eventually. So that is the case with this trip too. It was only supposed to be a short trip, and actually it wasn't even supposed to happen. But I'm glad it did. I managed to actually get some figs, and if I had waited till the fall, there probably would have been none left for me. And we've completed a number of tasks, and there's just so much to do on this property anyway. Anything that you do is just a little drop in the bucket. And I'm getting mosquito bitten to death again as usual. They just seem to love me. Anyway, we've mowed the lawn, which it needed it, and picked up the remnants of a dead tree that with Mark cut up into chunks and stumps, and we were able to remove it off the front lawn because that was a bit of an eyesore. There is still the original stump of the tree there, but that's fine. That'll probably take years to deteriorate anyway, so it's not a priority. But removing all the limbs, all the bits and pieces, and I think when we first arrived there was a piece of the tree that was probably about 7 or 8 feet tall, still rotting away, and Mark did cut that down bit by bit, and today we removed the balance of it and got rid of it. I mean, most of it was rotting anyway. And so I did manage to get a lot of figs. Hooray. Lost my pears to who knows who, squirrels, deer, probably both. And as I said, Mark has managed to accomplish the tasks that he set himself out to do. Tried to do the yard cleanup again. We're mostly still outside. There's just so many things to do outside that we really haven't gotten to the inside as of yet. But Mark wanted to put up another couple of cameras, one on either end of the house, which we didn't have before. So one that faces off into the woods, and the other one that you can see anyone coming up the driveway, and that's a good thing. Like the other cameras were all faced towards the doors, so you can see anyone going towards either the front or the back door. So the whole house has been secured as far as visually, and that means anyone trying to access any of the windows will also be seen, because there are windows at either end of the house as well. So that's one of the main things that Mark wanted to do. He also wired the house. That's been Mark's business in the past, so he does not staple things to the outside of the wall. He went through the wall into the attic, and yeah, he does it properly. And he's got other wires for perhaps hooking up a television set at some point, and perhaps even more Wi-Fi access points to make sure that you got good Wi-Fi signal throughout the whole house. We did buy these boosters and never did put them up, but he's wired the place for them, so that will probably be completed the next time we're down here. So, and yeah, there's a lot of tasks that we've assigned ourselves for when we come back, but sorry to leave. I know it's warm. It is warm. It's quite hot, in the 90s and 100s right now. And yeah, I'm fortunate enough that I have about 4 linen dresses that I picked up, and they're wonderful in this heat. And I always liked wearing dresses anyway, and jeans are just, they would be far too hot and far too uncomfortable. So I'm leaving my jeans for the fall. Now, today is pack-up day. Today is the day that we determine what has to go back with us, what stays here, and lock everything up and make sure everything's secure, and in the morning we leave. So, but I do have fig preserves, I do have tomatoes done. We're doing good. We're doing good. Those are some of the tasks that I assign myself. Unfortunately, we have not got to do any work inside the house yet, but that'll come. It'll come in time. I'm not too worried about it. Oh, and today, stopped by a place, and Mark spotted a couple of fellows putting in gutters. And he said, yeah, it's a beautiful job. They have the proper machine so that you get the one full length and not pieces that you have to put together if you were to buy it at Home Depot. So he spoke to the guy. We took some information. We took a picture of the truck itself that he was working out of, so we have access to this gentleman and his company, and we'll look at them in the fall and see if it's feasible to allow them to put the gutters in for us rather than Mark doing it. It's not as though he doesn't have enough work to do as is. So anyway, back to Canada tomorrow morning. So this is it for this trip, and we'll see what we can accomplish on the next one. Anyway, this is Tony from our Alabama homestead. Talk to you real soon. Bye for now.